I am Professor Saurabh Parmeshwar Gaikwad from 8 Kumar Abdullah Bangalore Science College, Mumbai. Okay. And we are learning our unit Riemann integral. Okay. Now today we will continue. We have seen some theorem in last lecture. Okay. So we will start today with some example. Okay. Now example is we are given two function f and g which are bounded functions on the interval closure bounded interval a to b. Okay. And b with the any partition of this interval. So we have to prove 5-6 properties on related to these two functions f and g which are bounded functions. Okay. So first property we have to prove here is upper sum for the function with minus of f with respect to partition p is equal to minus of lower sum for the function f with respect to partition p. So here there is relation between lower sum of function f and upper sum of function minus f. This is nothing but this negative of this function. Okay. Similarly, second property is lower sum of minus f is equal to minus of upper sum of f corresponding to same partition. Okay. So we will first prove a property a. Okay. Here we have to prove for the function minus f its upper sum over p is equal to minus of lower sum for the function f with respect to same partition p. Okay. So that our p is any partition. So we say that p is equal to our set. First point of course will be a. This is a x naught, then x1 up to somewhere xk plus up continue in this way xn minus 1 up to xn. Okay. So we have taken this partition of the interval a to b. Okay. Now since function is bounded, it has supremum and infimum over each subintervals. Okay. So we say mk is equal to small m is equal to infimum of function f. Okay. Infimum of say function f where this x belongs to kth in subinterval. So x belongs to kth subinterval is xk minus 1 and xk. Similarly, we know capital Mk which is equal to supremum of f of x. Again, x belongs to this kth subinterval xk minus 1 and xk. Okay. So there are general notation infimum and supremum of the function in kth subinterval. Okay. Since mk is supremum and this small mk infimum, any value of function lies between this small mk and capital mk. So we can say that minimum value less equal function value of function any value of function which is less equal capital maximum value of the function. Okay. Supremum is always greater equal any value and infimum is always less equal any value. Okay. Now if you multiply each term by minus sign or by minus 1, this inequality get changed. Why? Because whenever suppose if 2 is maximum value and you multiply by 2 by minus 2, so minus sign, then it become minus 2, so it become minimum value. See here mk is maximum. We will take example. Suppose x is some value such that this is less than 2 and which is greater than 0. Okay. We can say x, we can take value of x as 1. If we multiply this value by minus 1, then this become minus 1, this is 0 as it is, and this become minus 2. But due to multiplication with by minus 1, here we get 0 is greater than minus 1 and minus 1 is greater than minus 2. The sign get changed. So similarly, if we multiply each term by minus 1, we will get minus of this mk, small mk, greater equal minus of f of x, which is greater equal capital of minus of mk. Okay. Now see, for the function f, maximum value of the was capital mk. and minimum value was small m. But for the function minus f, maximum value is, see, maximum value is this minus of small m, and minimum is minus of capital M. Okay. So for this function minus f, this is the supremum and this is the infimum. Okay. So now we will do this first part. Okay. So u p of minus f. So first we will write this for infimum of function minus of f of x. What is the infimum of this function? This function is always get rid of this value. So infimum is minus of mk, and supremum of minus of function f of x is this value, because this is get equal each value of minus f is equal to minus of small m. Okay, because this is the supremum for minus of this function. So we get infimum and supremum for minus m, and we have infimum and supremum for just function or f. Okay. So first part. So u p of minus f. So u p of minus, that is upper sum for the function minus f. We know upper sum. Upper sum nothing but the summation for this subintervals. Okay. So key values from 1 to n. What is the summation over product of supremum of this function into length of subintervals? Now what is the supremum of minus f? Supremum of minus f is nothing but small minus np. So small minus np into length of subinterval, and this sum nothing but upper sum. Now we can take minus n outside, so this become, take minus n outside, so minus of summation k is equal to 1 to n this small mk into delta xt. But see, only see this part. Okay, only see this part. What we see, summation small mk delta xt, k is equal to 1 to n. Okay, now this small mk was infimum for this function f. Okay, so infimum of the function into length of the interval and summation, this is nothing but the lower sum for the function f. So this becomes minus of, and this value is nothing but the formula for lower sum of the function f of x. Okay, so this becomes minus of L P here. Okay, the first part is easily proved. Okay, now similarly we can prove second part. Okay, this was part A. Now we will prove part B. Okay, what is part B? Lower sum of minus f is equal to minus of upper sum of f, corresponding to same partition P. So lower sum of minus f. What is the formula of lower sum? The formula of lower sum is summation over product of minimum value into length of the subinterval. Now what is the minimum value for infimum for minus f? Infimum for minus f was capital of minus of capital mk. So we write here capital of minus mk, this is the infimum value, into, because we are calculating lower sum, so we are taking value, and infimum of minus f is minus of capital of minus mk into delta xt. Summation varies from 1 to n. Now again we can take minus n outside. This become minus of summation k is equal to 1 to n capital mk into delta xt. But see this value, summation capital mk delta xt. What is capital mk? The supremum for function f. What is the value? Summation capital mk delta xt. It's nothing but upper sum for f. This is minus. So this is equal to minus of upper sum of function f corresponding to partition. So very easy proof for these two properties. Okay, now we will Fine. We will solve some other property also. Okay. I hope you understand these two properties. So now, next properties are, we have to prove upper sum for the function alpha f, where alpha is any constant, is equal to alpha into upper sum for the function f, which alpha is positive or greater or equal to 0, and is equal to alpha into lower sum of f if alpha is negative. Similarly, lower sum of alpha f is equal to alpha into lower sum of f if alpha is greater or equal to 0, and is equal to alpha into upper sum of f if alpha is negative. Okay. So we will prove this both inequality simultaneously. Okay. Now we know if alpha is greater or equal to 0, then we have already this small mk is equal to infimum of f of x and capital MK is equal to supremum of f of x, where x belongs to kth subinterval. Okay, where x belongs to kth subinterval. Now, if we are multiplying the function f by alpha and alpha is greater or equal to 0, then alpha into small nk will be infimum of function alpha f. If for function f small nk is minimum value, then for function alpha f small alpha nk will be minimum value if alpha greater or equal to 0. Okay, we can say infimum of alpha into f. Similarly, if alpha is greater or equal to 0, if mk is capital maximum value of function f, then alpha mk will be also maximum or supreme value of alpha into function. Okay, but when this happens, whenever alpha greater or equal to 0, if alpha is greater or equal to 0, then minimum value of function f is small nk, the minimum value of function alpha will be alpha nk. And if supremum of f is nk, then supremum of alpha will be alpha into capital NK if alpha greater or equal to 0. But we have seen if alpha is negative, then maximum value become minimum value and minimum value become maximum value. Okay, so whenever alpha is negative, in that case, though small nk is minimum value for f, we have alpha into small nk will be maximum or supremum of alpha into function. Okay, why? Because here alpha is negative, so maximum value becomes minimum value becomes maximum. Okay, and alpha into capital Nk will become minimum or infimum. It will become infimum of alpha into function. Okay, why? Because in this case alpha is negative, so this minimum value is becomes maximum value for the function, and maximum value becomes minimum value for the function. Now within these two conditions, we can easily prove these two properties. So now let's see. So u p alpha f. So we will take first condition where alpha greater than equal 0. So whenever alpha greater than equal 0, we have u p alpha f. That is upper sum for the function alpha f. Okay. We know formula for upper sum. Upper sum is equal to summation of product of maximum value into length of the subintervals. Now, whenever alpha greater than equal to 0, maximum value of alpha f, that is supremum of alpha f, is capital Mk into alpha. So summation value is over 1 to n. K is equal to 1 to n. Maximum value of alpha is alpha into capital Mk into length of the subintervals delta xk. Now alpha is constant, we can take it outside. So this becomes alpha into summation k is equal to 1 to n mk delta xk. What is this? Summation mk delta xk, where mk is supreme value of function, nothing but the, so this is nothing but upper sum for function f. This is equal to alpha into nothing but UP of C delta XK into maximum value of function of this is nothing but this alpha as it is and this is UP of. Okay. So whenever alpha greater equal to 0, UP alpha f is equal to alpha into UP f. Now we will take again case for alpha greater equal to 0. So whenever alpha greater equal to 0, we have to prove lower sum of alpha f is equal to alpha into lower sum of f. Okay. So again alpha greater equal to 0 as it is. So we will prove NP of. Okay. So this we have to prove. So next we will prove this part. Okay. So L lower sum of alpha f over partition P. Now we know the formula for lower sum. Lower sum summation K is equal to 1 to N. Minimum value of the function. The minimum value of the function when alpha greater equal to 0 is small alpha m k. So small alpha m k into length of the subintervals. Okay. Again alpha is constant. We can take it outside. This become take alpha outside. So alpha summation k is equal to 1 to n as it is, and this is small m k into delta x k. So alpha as it is. What is this small m k delta x k? Infimum of f into length of the subinterval. This is nothing but lower sum of the function f. So alpha into lower sum of the function f. Okay. So lower sum of alpha f is equal to alpha into lower sum of f whenever alpha is greater than equal to 0. So we have proved this and this. Now we will prove this and this. And these two are the again two properties where UP alpha is equal to alpha into MPF, but here alpha is negative or less than 0. So we will prove for whenever alpha is less than 0. Okay. Now we will solve using this case where alpha less than 0. So since alpha is less than 0, and we will calculate upper sum for alpha. So upper sum for alpha into f with respect to partition P is equal. Now since alpha is less than 0, then what is the maximum value of function alpha into f? So whenever alpha is less than 0, supremum or maximum of alpha f is small m k into alpha. So using the formula for upper sum, summation k is equal to 1 to n maximum value of alpha f or supremum of alpha f, which is small m k into alpha, since alpha less than 0. So small m k into alpha into length of the subintervals delta x k. So take alpha outside, it is constant. So this becomes alpha into summation k is equal to 1 to n small m k delta x. But what is this? Small m k delta x. Small m k is infimum for function f. So this is nothing but the alpha into is nothing but lower sum for f. So alpha into l p f. Okay. So we have to this also. Now we will prove this. Now NP of alpha f. So lower sum for alpha f with respect to partition P. You know the formula for lower sum. This summation k is equal to n 1 to n minimum value of the function. Okay. What is the minimum value of the function? Infimum of alpha f where alpha less than 0 is capital M k into alpha. Okay. So what is the minimum value? Alpha into capital M k. Why this is minimum value here? Because alpha is negative. Okay. Into length of the subintervals. Now take alpha constant, but outside it is constant. So this is equal to alpha into summation k is equal to 1 to n into capital M k delta x k. What is this? M k is the supremum of f. Summation supremum of f into length of the subintervals. This is nothing but the upper sum for the function f. This becomes small alpha into u p f. So we have proved So understand? Very easy properties to prove. Okay? Last two properties of this example. Okay? Property E is nothing but upper sum for the function f plus g is less equal upper sum of f plus upper sum of g for the partition E. Okay? And lower sum of f plus g is greater or equal lower sum of f plus lower sum of g. Okay? Now we denote MKF, capital MKF, which is notation for supreme value of f, and MKG, capital M, small kg, nothing but the supreme of function g, where function k stands for k subinterval. Okay, so MK, capital M is nothing but supreme value of f in k subinterval, and capital MKG means supreme value of the function g in k subinterval. And we also denote supreme value of the function f plus g as capital MK of f plus g. Now we know one basic inequality, that is supreme of f plus g always less equal supreme of f plus supreme of g. So this means this is nothing but mk of f plus g. So mk of f plus g less equal supreme of f, which is mk of f, plus supreme of g, which is mk of g. Now you multiply each side by delta xk. This implies mk of f plus g into delta xk. Since we are multiplying by 7, this remains as it is. So less equal capital mk of f plus capital mk of g into delta x here, and also we take summation on both sides. So this is implies this summation less equal this summation varies from k is equal to 1 to n. Okay, this implies. Now we write this as it is. So summation k is equal to 1 to n capital mk of f plus g into delta x. This is less equal. Now this is sum, there is addition, so we distribute summation. Okay, this becomes summation of mk of f into delta x plus summation mk of g delta x. So less equal summation k is equal to 1 to n mk of f into delta x k plus summation k is equal to 1 to n summation mk of g into delta x. Now see, what is this? Summation max supremum into delta x. So this is nothing but upper sum of f plus g. This is less equal. See, what is this? mk of f delta x, and supreme value of f into length of the interval, and summation over each subinterval. What is this? up f. What is this? up of g. So upper sum of f plus g always less equal upper sum of f plus upper sum of g. So this implies up of f plus g less equal up of f plus up of g. Since this is nothing but UPF, this is UPG, this is upper sum of f plus g. Now on the similar way we will prove this. We know one basic rule that infimum of f plus g is always get equal infimum of f plus infimum of g. Okay. Now we will note small mkf. Here capital MK was supremum, so we will denote here that small mk of f is equal to infimum of f, small mkg is equal to infimum of g in kth subinterval, and infimum of f plus g we denote it by a small mk of f plus g. Okay, so using this relation we have small mk of f plus g always get equal small mk of that is minimum value of f. The minimum value of the function f plus g. Always get the minimum value of f plus minimum value of g. So mkf plus nkg. Okay. Now similar multiply both sides by delta xk. Take summation. Okay. So summation of infimum of f plus g into delta xk greater equal to take multiply this bracket by delta xk and take summation here also. Summation minimum value of f plus minimum value of g into delta x. Okay. Now separate this summation as we have done before. Okay. So this implies. So this is nothing but infimum of lower sum of f plus g. Okay. Minimum infimum of f plus g into delta xk. And summation k is equal to 1 to n. This is nothing but the lower sum of f plus g. So this is the greater equal. Now distribute or summation. So summation minimum value of f into delta xk plus summation minimum value of g into delta xk. And here summation are from k is equal to 1 to n. This implies this L is nothing but lower sum of f plus g. So lower sum of f plus g for any arbitrary partition P always greater equal. So what is this? Infimum of f into delta xk and their summation nothing but lower sum for f. What is this? Minimum value of g into length of the subintervals and summation nothing but lower sum of g. So we are seeing this sixth property in this example. Okay. Now another example. So in this example, we have to if f is a bounded function on the closure boundary interval ab, then we have to prove that difference between supremum and infimum of the function here on interval ab is nothing but supremum of f of x minus f of y. Supremum of mod of f of x minus f of y, where x, y, b are in the interval ab. That is difference between the highest maximum difference between two values of the function in the interval ab, nothing but difference between supremum and infimum of the function. See, capital M is nothing but supremum and small m nothing but infimum of the function on the interval ab. The difference between supremum and infimum is nothing but this difference between supremum of difference between any two values of the function in the interval. Okay. So highest difference between two values of the function is nothing but difference between supremum and infimum. Okay. So to prove this, so we know this is nothing but the supreme value of the function, and this small is nothing but the infimum value of the function on the interval ab. So any value of the function in this interval always get equal infimum value. So m always less equal f of x, f of y. So you take any value of f, it must be greater equal infimum, and this must be less equal maximum. Okay, we know infimum value is always less equal to any value, and supreme value is always greater equal to any value of the function for any x, y belongs to the interval a. Okay. Now, if here supremum and infimum is same, the difference become 0. In that case, function must be constant. The difference also 0. So in this case is trivial. Okay. So we assume that supremum and infimum are not equal. This means infimum is less than supremum. Okay. So if m is equal, supremum is equal to infimum, there is nothing to prove. So we consider the case where supremum is not equal to infimum. This implies infimum is strictly less than supremum. That is, this infimum is less than supremum. Okay. So now we have from this inequality that any values get equal inflow. That is, we have f of x is always what always less equal to this maximum value, and any value say f of y get equal minimum value. Okay, now multiply both sides by minus 1, so this inequality become change, so less equal become greater equal. That is f of y is less equal infimum. Okay, this is small. So now take difference. This implies f of x minus f of y. So f of x minus f of y. F of x is equal to this, and sorry, minus f of y. F of y greater equal m. So minus f of y less equal minus m. So f of x minus f of y less equal m minus m. Less equals supremum minus infimum for all x y belongs to AB. This implies, since this is always greater equal this, we take supremum must be greater equal this. So take mod. So this implies mod of f of x minus f of y. The difference between these two values must be less equal supremum of, okay, sorry. So since difference between any two value of function is always less equal, this difference supremum of this must be less equal this difference. Okay, so supremum difference between two values less equal this value. So supremum of all the difference must be less equal this value. So supremum of difference between two values must be less equal supremum minus infimum. This is the half part of our proof. Okay. Now we will show again that this is less equal this. So this become, so they become. So in first half of this proof, we are showing this inequality, which says supremum of difference between any two values of the function is always less equal supremum of f and infimum of difference between supremum of f and infimum of f on the interval a to b. Okay. Now since this capital M is supremum, okay, see this capital M nothing but supremum of f of x on the interval a to b, closure boundary interval a to b. So we can find in this a small epsilon, a positive number, such that if we subtract that number from this m, then m is that m minus that positive number cannot be supremum. Since m is supremum, okay, we can find a number f of x1 such that which is greater than m minus some positive number. Now see, m is supremum. Okay, since okay, so this is our supremum m, but so m is supremum, so this is the maximum value of the function. So you take any value, always less equal this m, but if we can subtract some number positive where epsilon is greater than 0, we can subtract some small number from m. Okay, then that number m minus epsilon by 2 cannot be supremum because supremum is m. So suppose this is m minus epsilon by 2. So we can find number, we can find element such that this value is greater than this. Now see, there is gap between. So this is m and this is m minus epsilon by 2. This is m minus epsilon by 2. So there is a element which is greater than this m minus epsilon by 2 and less than m. That is, we give name into f of x1, and we can must find such a number. Okay, why? Because m minus epsilon by 2 is not a supremum. This is less than supremum. So there is an element which is greater than this element number. Okay. So that element is f of x1, where x1 is in interval a to b. So we can find x1 such that f of x1 is greater than m minus epsilon by 2, where epsilon is a positive number. Similarly, this small m is infimum of f, infimum function. Okay, suppose this small m is infimum, so any value of the function is always greater or equal this infimum. Okay, but if we add some number to the infimum, so this is m, and say this is m plus epsilon by 2. Now there is difference between m and m plus epsilon by 2. M is infimum, then m plus epsilon by 2 cannot be infimum because infimum is m. So we can find number which is less than m plus epsilon by 2, which is left to the m plus epsilon by 2, which is less than m plus epsilon by 2 and greater than m. Here we can find that number. Okay, so there exists a value of function, say f of x2, such that which is less than m plus epsilon by 2. Okay, which is less than m plus epsilon by 2. Okay, because m plus epsilon by 2 is not a infimum. Every value of the function is greater or equal to m, but if we add some number epsilon by 2 to the m, then m plus epsilon by 2 is not infimum. So we can find number which is less than m plus epsilon by 2, which is f of x2. Okay, where x2 belongs to interval a to b. Now multiply both sides by minus sign. This becomes minus of f of x2 is greater than minus m minus epsilon by 2. Okay. Now we will take difference. Okay. So f of x1 minus f of x2. So f of x1 minus f of x2 is equal to, sorry, greater than, here greater than, f of x1 is greater than m minus epsilon by 2, greater than m minus epsilon by 2, minus f of x2. So minus f of x2 is greater than minus m minus epsilon by 2. So greater than as it is, and this value minus m minus epsilon by 2. Okay, this implies f of x1 minus f of x2 is greater than this m, capital M, that is supremum of f, minus this small m, and minus epsilon by 2, minus epsilon by 2, that is minus epsilon. Now epsilon is any arbitrary positive number. Okay, and it is very small, so we can take epsilon tending to 0. So in this case, mod of difference between f of x1 and f of x2 will become greater or equal to, or we can see difference between f of x1 and f of x2 always greater than this number. So supremum of this always greater than this number. We can take epsilon tending to 0 as it is an arbitrary number. So this implies supremum of difference between mod of x1 and f of x2 always gets equal supremum of f and infimum of f, as we can take epsilon tends to 0. So this supremum is always gets equal this for x1 x2 belongs to the interval AB. Okay, so from this can you name second and first, from this two inequality we can see that these two are equal. From first inequality, this is less equal, this supremum of mod of any value of function is less equal supremum of f minus infimum of f, and here supremum of difference between two value of f is greater equal supremum of f and infimum of f. So using these two inequality we can see that these two are equal. So from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, we can say that supremum of difference between into value of f, supremum of difference, that highest difference between into value of f is nothing but difference between supremum and infimum of f on that interval into, okay, is equal to difference between supremum of f and infimum of f on the interval ab, nothing but highest difference, supremum of difference into element, supremum of difference between into values of the function where x and y belongs to interval a, okay.